Hey guys, welcome to another flashlight video, and today I wanted to do a comparison of some of my most favorite Wuben flashlights. And over here you can see I've got a whole bunch of them really over the time that I've worked with Wuben, and these are from the X series. Okay, they're new sort of X series that kind of define that general design that you get, this general kind of tube design in a flashlight. But I want to go through each of these lights, and I'm going to tell you why I've chosen each one. Just go through a bit of the features for you. Wuben is having an anniversary sale on right now, so if you want to check it out, have a look at the link in the video description. So starting out here with the Knightx, this is the micro arc oxidation version. Okay, and it is one of the most unique looking flashlights I've seen. Doesn't even really look like a flashlight at all. Okay, but I've got a couple of these. These come, I think, with the LH351D LEDs. So they are high CRI, produce about 1000 lumens. Okay, and you basically operate it through this switch here on the top. Press and hold to go through the different modes. You can double press as well to access turbo, double press from off to access the strobe mode. A very simple UI. But one thing that's cool as well is you can actually program each of these modes to go up either higher or lower and have it memorized. So that's something I haven't seen a lot in many flashlights. Okay, it does come with a whole bunch of different finishes and metals. So this one is the brass version. Absolutely love it. It's about twice as heavy, or more than twice as heavy, as the micro arc oxidation version, which is just aluminium. But again, if you are looking for more of an EDC light that you can carry around, get the aluminium or the titanium version. I find that the copper version, while it does dissipate heat better, it is very heavy, so be warned. I really like the whole design of it here. You can see there's some tritium slots as well on the side, but just these beautiful cutouts here. It looks, yeah, I don't know what it looks like. It's something from a sci-fi movie, but definitely the machining is just quite unique, and there's no sharp edges as well. Okay, nice little fidget toy. I tend to just flick that lid open and closed, held together with a couple of magnets there, and you can see that's actually where the charging port is, USB-C charging port. Now, there is an inbuilt battery in here, so it's an 18350 battery, but you can actually replace it. So Wuben don't recommend you doing this yourself, but it's actually quite simple. You can just use a pair of pliers, or you can use some tweezers, and you can open up the back and put in another cell. I think they just don't want people doing it in case they invert the cell, or basically there's some issues. All right, given that we've talked about the Wuben X0, seems fitting that we can discuss the Wuben E7, and this was a light that was released, I think, in the last quarter of 2023, if I remember correctly. And this one uses an Osram 2 times Osram P9, and you can get it in warm or cool. Okay, and I have to say, this is one of the best value Wuben lights out there, and it comes with a whole bunch of different accessories as well. Now, the great thing about this one is that you can actually unscrew it and replace the battery easily, access that 18350 cell quite easily. There's other accessories as well. There's an extension tube that you can screw in there and have the ability to use an 18650, which then makes this quite a realistic option if you're going on a longer trip. Okay, now the E7 is twice as bright as the X0. This thing produces close to 2000 lumens, which is really impressive for a little flashlight like this. I've taken this with me on trips, and you see here there's also a onboard USB-C charging port. And yeah, it's kind of like a cheaper version of the X0. And the X0, I think the finish is a lot nicer. This doesn't look like it's been anodized, just more so painted over, I suppose. But you know, for what you're paying for the E7, you're getting a really nice light and proper regulation as well. So yeah, damn, that thing is bright. Something to keep in mind with both the X0 and the E7 is that you can get a headband, and you can slot those straight into the headband and use these both as headlamps. The E7 is this really cool gesture device as well that you can plug in and actually use movement to activate the light on and off. All right, so let's move on to the Wuben X3. Now, this is one of my favorite Wuben flashlights because it just does it all. I don't even know where to start with this light, but you've got magnetic base. Now, the actual case is also glow in the dark, okay? You have got magnetic charging as well, so it just slots into the case, charges, okay? But you can also use a phone if you've got reverse charging your phone to charge this flashlight, something I've not seen before. Pretty much, if you want a light that just shows what a modern flashlight is capable of, I think the X3 is a fantastic option. You've got a clip there, nice rigid clip there on the back. Okay, now my version, there's a few different versions of LEDs you can get. Now I've got the one that just has the high CRI LED there. Okay, and then what you can do is also access a 660 nanometer red LED, and that's one of my favorite lights. I use this all the time around the house, outside as well. It just doesn't ruin the night vision. Here there's a little LED OLED panel, so you can see what particular mode you're on. So yeah, this is a really cool light, quite unique. You can also, thought I should probably mention this as well. It rotates, so you can actually rotate it at the head, whichever way you want. I think the Wuben X3 appeals to someone who wants a light that does absolutely everything under the sun and has that convenience of being able to just slot it into the charge and not have to worry about any cables, stuff like that. Okay, the battery run times aren't the best when you're using this on full blast, but on the lower lumen modes, yeah, it does last a significant period of time. But again, you've got that case that's going to be able to charge this light up at least 2+ times. So yeah, really fantastic little kit there. Moving on to the next member of the X series, it's the Wuben X2, and this one has 3 Osram P9 LEDs in there, produces 2,500 lumens for such a little light like this. It's absolutely amazing. Takes two 14,500 cells that are not replaceable as well. I'm sure someone's figured out how to do it, but Wuben don't recommend that you go in there and change it yourself. The design is really cool. I just like this kind of techno sci-fi kind of design that you get with a lot of these X series flashlights that they've just released last year. And yeah, got a nice clip there on the back as well. It's almost a deep carry clip, but I think this is a better option if you want some sustained output, especially brighter output, when you compare it to the X0. Okay, either this one or the E7 they'd probably be better long sustained output candidates, compared to the X0. You've got a USB-C port as well underneath to charge the light. Okay, again, you can just go through the different modes, double press, and you can also get strobe as well in there. It does come with a few different color options and different metals. I have one in copper as well, which is awesome. So yeah, do recommend the aluminium one though if you want a more practical option that you're actually carrying around. And speaking of which, these slab style flashlights are just so comfortable to carry around in your pocket because they don't have too much width on them. If you compare it even to the Wuben L50 here, the L50 is even wider when you've got it in your pocket. But yeah, this thing, you can barely feel it, even though it is that sort of slab sort of design. When you have it in your pocket, it doesn't take up much width at all. All right, moving on to the Wuben X1, and this thing is an absolute powerhouse and one of my favorite flutter flashlights out there. Okay, the build quality is just fantastic, and this is the X1 with micro arc oxidation finish. I've also got one just in normal black aluminium, but I have to say, like, this white version just looks $1,000,000. It looks like something special. And yeah, 12,000 lumen flashlight even has a fan in here, and the fan actually works to help you sustain that output, which is amazing. You get sustained 2000 lumens as well. Very something that's just not heard of on a flashlight that can fit in your pocket. Okay, definitely is a bit larger. It's almost like the bigger brother of the X2. Okay, but surprisingly enough, I have put this in my pocket, and it feels quite okay. If not for the weight. And yeah, that's because it actually doesn't really take up too much width in your pocket as well. So you compare it now to this other light here, the Wuben C2. Look at that. It really is the same width. And basically press to turn on. And the same thing, very simple UI. Press and hold to ramp up and down, then double press for turbo, 12,000 lumens. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, I've also got the USB-C port there on the side of the light. That fan is a lifesaver. And what I like about it as well is that it is just so quiet. You know, I've had other flashlights, some other Imalent flashlights, and they just produce too much noise and they're quite annoying. I mean, it's warranted given the size and the lumen output of the light, but I'm glad that Wuben have managed to put a nice quiet fan in this one. So overall, if you are looking for a really floody flashlight that's going to have sustained output, rugged, you know, very practical design, I really recommend that X1. Now, let's go and talk about some of these normal tube lights, and some of them are not quite normal as well, so I'm going to go through some of those in a moment. But this here is the Wuben L50, one of the first Wuben lights that I reviewed, and this one contains an Osram P9. Okay, really interesting light. It's such a throwy flashlight. Okay, I was really impressed with how far this thing can throw, and it's almost like a tactical flashlight. It's so close. I wish it had a tactical switch on the back, but you know, for this price point, you can't really complain. You basically just press that back button. It remembers the last mode, and then half press to go through the four modes. Okay, pretty simple. There's a charging port here in the back as well. Okay, so yeah, nice little throwy flashlight, pocket clip. Okay, it's not going to cost you more than what you pay for lunch, and pretty decent quality as well. So this, moving on to the next one, you've got the Wuben C2. Okay, this I think was the second light that I got when I started collecting flashlights again. And the C2 is a great all-rounder flashlight. So if you're someone that, you know, just wants a casual light to use around the house, camping, you know, something that's pretty bright as well, the C2 is a great option. It also comes at a great price and great value as well compared to some of the other Wuben lights. And you can see here, just turn it on using the side switch, press and hold to go through the different modes, double press to turbo. Now you can double press while the light is off to access an emergency strobe mode. So that's really good for kind of an emergency mode. You know, maybe someone's in your face and you just want to distract them for a little bit. You know, that's a nice little option. You know, you've got smooth reflector, crenulated bezel, still pocketable. And also what's cool is that you have an ability to use this light as an emergency power bank. Okay, so you can plug your phone into it as well. Takes a 21700 cell, so it does have a bit of juice in this light. You'll be able to charge up your phone probably at least once. So yeah, for a nice little beater that you can have around, chuck in the glove box, at home, use in the garden, go camping, walking, that kind of thing, the C2 is a great option. I think it's a better option, more versatile option than the L50. Okay, I think the L50 is, you know, more of kind of like if you want a tactical style light that has long distance, but yeah, again, it doesn't produce as much light, and the beam is very throwy, so you don't get a whole lot of spill. So moving on next to this light here, this is the Wuben L1, and this is a fantastic little light. It's filled with surprises, and I kind of alluded to it before, and you can see here you can actually flip the head around. Okay, honestly, I don't think it's all too necessary unless you're just using the flood beam. You want that flood beam first, but yeah, basically you've got a throwy beam here on the top. So there's two buttons here that accesses the long range beam, and then the bottom button allows you to access this side LED. more of a flood LED, and you can even have them both on at the same time. So looking down at the ground and also in front of you. Really like the fact that there's two buttons and that you can access both, you know, a throw and a flood beam. That's something that has always been an issue, or, you know, an area of discussion with people that own flashlights, whether, you know, whether you should get one that has more of a throwy beam or something that has more of a floody beam. But with the L1, you don't need to choose. You've got both of them in one, okay? And you can, like I said, sort of change around that top. It's very, very easy to go through the different modes as well. It's just, yeah, click and hold to switch modes. Okay, double press for turbo. The bottom button, the bottom one just has 3 modes, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So just press and hold. So yeah, takes a 21-700 cell. I think this is a great option for someone who's looking for an all-rounder flashlight. Maybe you do need to use that throwy beam every now and then along with the flood beam. So yeah, this allows you to basically have 2 different flashlights in one in your pocket. So great little light and idea as well. All right, so I've saved this one till last, and a lot of you probably wondering, what is this light? Now, this is a light that's not really advertised by Wuben, and I'm not sure why. It's the Wuben T1, and for a lot of you, you might know already, I'm a big fan of tactical flashlights, and I think this is currently Wuben's best tactical flashlight that they have. It takes an 18650 battery, but also allows you to use a CR123 cells in there, so primary cells. Okay, you've got an SST40 with a very deep reflector. This thing throws, I believe, over 500 meters, which is absolutely impressive for a light that can fit in your pocket. And you've got a switch here on the back, and this switch half press to access turbo, and then you basically just move the switch up or down to access strobe. Okay, now when the light is on, you can actually go through and press that switch up to change the modes. Okay, so nice little thing. He actually remembers that last mode that you've left it in as well. I just tend to put it onto the turbo. Where is it? Like that. And then have it remember turbo. So little battery indicator there on the side of the light as well. You've got a proper double-sided clip. Okay, this is a fantastic little tactical light, and I'm not sure why this isn't advertised more, because it is probably one of my favorite tactical flashlights out there. You've got this nice ring as well. Okay, but it's just got a decent amount of heft. And yeah, being able to take primary cells is important for me, just in case I need to use them in an emergency. So yeah, if you're looking for a great tactical flashlight, don't mind a slightly larger head. The Wuben T1, that's a hidden gem. Now, before I end the video, I want to show you my latest flashlight from Wuben as well. This is the Wuben A1, and it is a gigantic flashlight, 20,000 lumens. Has almost 3 kilometers of throw. See here under the bezel, look at that. It's incredible. 4 SBT 90.2 LEDs in there with a quad reflector. The thing is an absolute beast. I had to test it outside. I wasn't able to actually get the throw figures to register on my light meter because it was just so powerful. And yeah, this is, if money is essentially no object and you want to get the biggest, baddest flashlight from Wuben, this is the one. It's something I've been dreaming about for a long time. And when you turn it on outside, it's just jaw-dropping. I can't find a place. I'm going to need to go out a bit further, probably somewhere in the country to find a range or something like that to point it at, because anything that I use it on, you know, an oval or a field nearby, it just handles it so easily, able to project the beam to the other side. So yeah, fantastic light. I mean, I don't know who really has much use for it. I think if you, like I said, if you just want something that is going to scratch that itch, that's, you know, you want that crazy candela output, and you've got the cash to spend, excellent quality, and I mean, this thing is really going to be hard to top if you want to get any lights in the future. All right, so that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just let me know down below in the comments. I'll get back to you. And remember as well, Wuben is having that anniversary sale at the moment. So go ahead and check out the link in the description. There's a whole bunch of these lights that you see here that I've talked about that are all on special. So you can go ahead and have a look. If you like this video, do me a big favor and click the like button. Really helps me to get my video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and up-to-date news, make sure you subscribe.